Please pay respect to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. In my last motto, we had already discussed about hope protective meditation. Briefly. But some meditators, they want to listen in a wider way. If you want to listen in a wider way, please go to Pa-Auk Forest Monastery. Okay? But hope protective meditation can be practiced anytime, no problem. My discussion in my last motto is to attain jhana. But if they practice metta meditation directly without any basic jhana, they can also practice metta. But to attain jhana is a little bit difficult. For some meditators only. But for those who have enough parami, enough metta parami, they can meditate metta meditation thoroughly. But it will be very rare. The problem is if they want to attain jhana, they must practice metta meditation taking one dear respectable person. They must focus on that person, the image of that person. At that time, when the image disappears, the concentration will fall down. Again, they must create this image. Again, the image may disappear. Because of this reason, to attain jhana is not easy. But without attaining jhana also, they can practice metta. When they are practicing metta, we can say they are accumulating a lot of wholesome karmas. This is also very good. It is also necessary. So, but our teaching is to attaining jhana only. Because of this reason, we are teaching metta meditation to attain jhana based on other jhanas. It is very easy way only. But if you want to accumulate a lot of wholesome dhammas, not to attain jhana, you should practice metta. Sometimes while you are practicing anapana or maybe any other samatha meditation, there may be some difficulties such as anger, restless mind, etc. When any one of hindrances are visiting to your mind, at that time you can practice metta. It is also good, very good, very helpful. Occasionally you can also practice recollection of Buddha's quality, Buddha no state, recollection of your own death recollection, Marana no state, then formless meditation, Asubha Bhavana. These are also necessary. But to attain excess concentration stage or to attain jhana concentration, it is also not easy. Because, for example, Buddha's quality is very deep and profound. You must concentrate his quality. For example, his virtue, matchless purification of his virtue. To concentrate the matchless purity of his virtue is not easy, because the object is not clear, like anapana. So because of this reason, based on other jhana, if they practice, it is very easy to attain excess concentration stage. Because of this reason, we discussed hope protective meditation last week. But without based on other jhanas, if you practice, it is also good, no problem. To attain jhana is not easy only. Today I want to explain about Noble Eightfold Path. You had already understood Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path is the only path leading to the realization of Nibbana or to attain Nibbana. Number one noble path is Samadhi, right view or right understanding. What is right understanding? In famous Mahasriprana Sutta, Buddha explains right understanding in 4 ways. Dukkha jnana, dukkha samudaya jnana, dukkha nirodha jnana, dukkha nirodha gaminiya patipadaya jnana. Right understanding of noble truth of suffering. Right understanding of the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Right understanding of the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Right understanding of the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. There are 4 types of right understanding. These 4 types of right understanding are called Samadhi, right understanding. You must accumulate to attain this or to achieve the 4 types of right understanding. Number 1 is right understanding of the noble truth of suffering. What is the noble truth of suffering? Sankhedena pinchu bharane khanda dukkha. In brief, 5 aggregates of clinging are called noble truth of suffering. Among 5 aggregates of clinging, number 1 is the clinging aggregate of materiality. This is metta. Number 2 group is the clinging aggregate of feeling, the clinging aggregate of perception, the clinging aggregate of formations, and the clinging aggregate of consciousness. These 4 are mentality or mind. So, in brief, mind is metta only. According to Buddha's teaching, metta arises as a small particle called kalabhas. Our body is composed with kalabhas, as well as external body also composed with kalabhas, as well as external animate things such as trees, buildings, they are also composed with kalabhas. Everything is composed with kalabhas. One kalabha may be smaller than atom, but I do not understand about atom, so maybe only. But these are not ultimate materiality. Again, you must analyze each kalabha. If you define each kalabha, you can see 8 types of materiality, or 9 types of materiality, or 10 types of materiality, etc. They are ultimate truth, ultimate reality, ultimate materiality. These ultimate materiality are the object of vipassana. You must contemplate them as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. As soon as they arise, they pass away very, very quickly, so they are anicca, impermanent. They are always oppressed by rising and passing away, so they are dukkha, suffering. There is no permanent entity, permanent substance in them, so they are anatta, non-self. But without seeing this ultimate reality, if you practice vipassana, we cannot say this type of vipassana is true vipassana or real vipassana. Maybe just superficial only. Again, there are mentality, 4 types of mental aggregates. There are 2 types cognitive process and process pre. Some mentalities arise as a cognitive process. You should try to understand this process. And again, in each mind moment, they arise as a group, not as a single. In some mind moments, there are at least 8 types of mental formations. In some mind moments, such as jhana mind moment, impulsion mind moments, there are sometimes 34 mental formations, sometimes 33, sometimes 32, etc. You should try to understand these mentalities according to cognitive process. In the same way, outside cognitive process, there are also some mentalities such as Bhoenga Maindo. They are called process-free consciousness. They also arise as a group. For some meditators, their Bhoenga mind state has 34 mental formations. For some meditators, their Bhoenga mind state has 33 or 32, etc. They should try to define these 34 mental formations or 32, 33 mental formations. At that time only they can understand ultimate mentality. So this ultimate materiality and mentality are 5 aggregates. They are the noble truth of suffering, dukkha sajja. The dukkha sajja is the object of vipassana. Not only present 5 aggregates, but also past 5 aggregates, future 5 aggregates are also called the noble truth of suffering, dukkha sajja. Same. You should try to discern past 5 aggregates as well as future 5 aggregates. Why? One reason is you should try to understand second noble truth, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya sajja. What is samudaya sajja? Buddha explains samudaya sajja in different ways. Most important thing is dependent origination. According to Daittayarana Sutta of Tika Nibbata and Gauttara Nikaya, dependent origination is also called samudaya sajja. Because of the arising of avijja, ignorance, sankhara formations arise, volitional formations. Because of the arising of volitional formations, vijnana, consciousness arise, etc. In this way, Buddha explained dependent origination. If we summarize the dependent origination, there are 2 groups, cause and effect only. Especially there are 5 causes. Number 1, avijja, ignorance. Number 2, tanha, craving. Number 3, upadana, clinging. Number 4, sankhara, volitional formations. Number 5, karma, the power of karma. These 5 are called samudaya sajja, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Because of the rising of samudaya sajja, dukkha sajja arise. Dukkha sajja, the noble truth of suffering, is effect. The noble truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya sajja, is cause. If there are cause and effect, which will be preceding and which will be succeeding? Please think. Because of the arising of samudaya sajja, noble truth of suffering, dukkha sajja, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, dukkha sajja, the noble truth of the suffering rise. So, samudaya sajja is cause, dukkha sajja is effect. If there are 2 noble truths, these 2 noble truths are the object of vipassana. You must contemplate them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. These two noble truths are called sankhara formations. Sometimes they translate sankhara as conditioned things. So they are the object of vipassana. There are two noble truths, cause and effect. Because of the arising of causes, effects arise. So cause must be preceding or succeeding. How do you think? Preceding. Okay. Then please think carefully. Noble truth of suffering, mind and matter. In our life, what time it begins? According to Buddha's teaching, in our mother's womb, when we are taking patisandhi conception stage, at that time, mind and matter arise. This is first beginning stage of this life. These mind and matter are called noble truth of suffering. This is the first stage of our present life. This noble truth of suffering arises because of samudaya sajja, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. So samudaya sajja cannot be in this life. Samudaya sajja of this present dukkha sajja is in the past life only. Because of the previous samudaya sajja, the noble truth of suffering dukkha sajja arise. If you want to understand samudaya sajja, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, by your direct knowledge, then you should try to discern past mentality and materiality, mind and matter. In previous life, you had accumulated wholesome or unwholesome dhammas, depending on your mind and matter. Now, in the present, if you analyze your body, you can discern mind and matter, mentality and materiality. Depending on mentality and materiality, now you are accumulating wholesome dhammas. Now you are meditating. Now you are listening to my talk. We can say you are now accumulating wholesome dhammas. Is it true? In the same way, in previous life also, depending on your mind and matter, you had already accumulated wholesome dhammas or unwholesome dhammas. You should try to understand by your direct knowledge these wholesome and unwholesome dhammas. Unwholesome dhammas are avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, clinging. These three are called unwholesome dhammas. They are the round of defilement around kilesa vata. Based on this defilement round, you accumulate wholesome dhammas to be human being, to become human being. These wholesome dhammas are called sankhara, volitional formations, but they are nature impermanent. As soon as they rise, they pass away. But when they pass away, they left behind the power of karma. That power of karma is called karma. Altogether, there are 5 causes. Among these 5 causes, sankhara, volitional formations, and karma, these 2 are wholesome dhammas. Ignorance, craving, and clinging, these 3 are unwholesome dhammas. You should try to accumulate these wholesome and unwholesome dhammas. Now, in this life, you are accumulating wholesome dhammas, different types of wholesome dhammas. Sometimes you try to observe your virtue. Sometimes you practice samatha. Sometimes you practice vipassana. Sometimes you donate something to others. So you are accumulating different types of wholesome dhammas. Sometimes when you are practicing samatha, there may be sometimes you may practice anapana, sometimes you may practice metta, sometimes you may practice buddhanusri, etc. So there are different wholesome dhammas. Among these different wholesome dhammas, only one dhamma can produce to be reborn as a human being. Not all dhammas. For example, our bodhisattva, he had accumulated a lot of paramis in previous life, many times. For incalculable 100,000 aeons. He had already accumulated 10 types of paramis. Among these 10 types of paramis, one wholesome dhamma can produce 5 aggregates in his last life. What wholesome dhamma? Metta. He had accumulated metta meditation in previous life to attain jhana. But jhana, metta jhana concentration can produce to be reborn in Brahma only. Not in human world. But in human world, metta meditation can produce to be reborn as a human being is only excess concentration or before excess concentration stage. While he is practicing metta meditation, before jhana stage, there are different types of excess concentrations. These excess concentrations produce 5 aggregates in his last life as a Siddhartha. In the same way, in previous life, you had already accumulated different types of wholesome dhammas. Among these wholesome dhammas, which wholesome dhamma produce 5 aggregates and then your conception stage, parisandhi stage in your mother's womb? You should try to understand this. In my last Dhamma talk, I had already explained this, but today also I want to explain another example. One meditator, when she is accumulating previous wholesome dhammas, first she saw a gentleman, very poor gentleman. We always look what? We always surface. Maybe he is accumulating wholesome dhamma by cleaning the compound of one small chediya in forest. In the forest there is one small chediya, pagoda. Around chediya there are different bushes, different grass. He is cleaning these different bushes and grass. This is called Vyavicha Kusala Karma, service Kusala, wholesome dhamma. Together with his wife and son, one small children. They are accumulating these wholesome dhammas, but they are very poor. Because of this reason, he had nothing to offer to the chediya. What I should do? One type of donation to the chediya. He is searching around chediya. He saw a piece of small candle, which other persons offer to the chediya, but not fully exhausted. Maybe halfway. One type of candle. He had one light, so he trying to he light to the candle and then he offered to the Buddha, to the chediya. When he is offering chediya, what is his wish? This is problem. You may accumulate in the same way, I think so. His wish is, as a gentleman, he must work for his family. Very tired. But if he become woman, it will be very good. It will be very easy for him, he thinks. So because of this reason, he wished to become as a woman only. This is problem. Problem is the defilement round create the mode. Create the mode. Man can become because of this avijja, tanha, upadana. Avijja is ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, clinging. But I want to explain about avijja again. What is avijja? In one sutta, one bhikkhu asked the same question to the Buddha. Bhante, they said, avijja, ignorance. What is ignorance? Oh, not understanding Four Noble Truths, not understanding the Noble Truth of suffering, not understanding the Noble Truth of the origin of suffering, not understanding the Noble Truth of the cessation of suffering, not understanding the Noble Truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. These four types of not understanding are called avijja, ignorance. In this way, Buddha gave one answer. So, because of this reason, if you do not understand Four Noble Truths, this such type of not understanding is called ignorance. But if you do not understand Four Noble Truths, what does you understand? This is problem. That gentleman understand as a man or as a woman. If you can discern four elements systematically in woman's body or in man's body, you cannot see man or woman, you can see only a group of small kalabas, particles. If you analyze these particles, you can see ultimate materiality. Again, if you can discern mentality, there are only ultimate materiality and mentality only. These mind and matter, as soon as they arise, they pass away very, very quickly. So they are a nature, no permanent. So there is no permanent man or woman. But he does not see this mind and matter. This is the noble truth of the suffering, dukkha sajja. He do not understand the dukkha sajja. Because of this reason, he understands as man and woman. So he wished for to become woman. Woman will be very good because man is very tired. He must try different types of works to maintain his family. So this is very tired. As a woman, this is not necessary. This is his thinking only. So because of this wrong understanding, maybe the attachment to the woman life appear. That attachment is called craving. Repeated attachment is called clinging, upadana. These three are very important. According to this wish, his wholesome dhammas, offering candlelight to the Chetiya, can produce woman's life when it becomes mature. So, if you want to become woman, when you are meditating, in the same way, this wholesome dhammas also will produce to be reborn as a woman only. While you are meditating, if you want to become bhikkhu, it will be very good. And then you can become bhikkhu. One day. How this produce? Then I want to explain. This ignorance, craving and clinging, this is one group. Mental cognitive process. While he is offering candlelight to the Chetiya, at that time there is one gentleman. In that gentleman's body, he must discern four elements systematically. When he discerns four elements, he can see only a group of small particles called kalabas. Again, he must analyze these kalabas. While he is analyzing these kalabas, especially he must emphasize in his heart area. In his heart area, there are 54 types of materiality, or 6 types of kalabas. Among these 6 types of kalaba, one kalaba is very important. One type of kalaba. This is heart decade kalaba. That heart decade kalaba is very important. Why? Depending on heart base, his wish and his horizontal are rising and passing away successfully for a long time. So, if he can discern his heart decade kalaba or heart base, at that time he can see clearly Bhuenga Mindo. When he sees his Bhuenga Mindo, he should discern this Bhuenga Mindo Pawa and Bhagawa. Between these 2 types of Bhuenga Mindo, there are cognitive process, mentalities rising and passing away. If he discerns Pawa and Bhagawa again and again in this way, he can see his wish. This is mind-cognitive process. Ignorance, craving, and clinging. But these 3 do not rise, 3 only, but they arise as a group. There are usually 20 mental formations. He should try to discern these 20 mental formations. Again, when he is offering candlelight to the Chediya, at that time there are 34 mental formations. What are 20? What are 34? If you want to understand clearly, then please practice practically. You will understand this 34 and 20. Now I'm explaining only idea only. But these 20 types of defilement around also, as soon as they rise, they pass away very, very quickly. In the same way, 34 mental formations holds on to Mass. When he is offering candlelight to the Chediya, they are also nature embodiment. As soon as they rise, they pass away very, very quickly. But when they pass away, they left behind the power of karma, or the force of karma. Some Westerners, they don't like to translate karma as the force of karma, because force has the something. But in this case, there is no something, only just the power only. Now, for example, you are expert in computer. What is expert? Where this expert resides? Not easy to explain, but the power is still in the same way only. So this power, you should try to see how. You should train these 34 sankhara formations, volitional formations, again. They are very, very quickly arising and passing away. But when they pass away, they left behind the power. You can see this power. When you see this power, then again you must try to discern in the conception stage, present moment, in your mother's womb. There are 30 types of materiality, 3 types of decade kalabas: body decade kalaba, heart decade kalaba, sex decade kalaba. These 3. You should train these kalabas in your mother's womb at the beginning stage. You should try to discern 4 elements in that stage. You can see only small dot, but this small dot is very transparent. In that transparent small dot, you should discern 4 elements. Then you can see kalabas. If you analyze these kalabas, there are 3 types of kalaba: heart decade kalaba, body decade kalaba, sex decade kalaba. These 3 only. You should analyze these 3 kalabas. If you analyze in each kalaba, there are 10 types of materiality. Altogether, there are 20 types of materiality. You should try to discern. In previous life, there is power of karma. In your mother's womb, conception, at the conception stage, there are 30 types of rupa. You should try to see this again and again. Karma, and then the 30 types rupa, karma, 30 types of rupa. If you see closely this and this again and again, then you can see the power of karma. That power of karma produces this 30 rupas. Because of this reason, our parents' gem, this is only supporting cause, not producing cause. You had accumulated whole dharma in previous life. The whole dharma produced directly these 30 rupas only. Your mother, our parents' gem is only supporting cause only. For example, you had already accumulated whole dharmas to be reborn as an animal. Then that karma will produce these rupas in animal's womb. Mother animal's womb. In the same way, now you had accumulated whole dharmas to become as a human being. Then this karma will sense or will produce materiality at the conception stage in your human mother's womb only. So this karma is producing cause. Parents' gem is only supporting cause only. So you can see the power, but that meditator, that yogi, when she is reserving or searching for karma and it is result, she can see. For example, now please trying to see. No, my finger is paining, my finger is searching. Why? Because of mine. I want to be pain, then it pains. I want to be stretched, then it is stretched. Mind can produce here small particles called kalabas up to this. Among these kalabas, there are different types of kalabas. Among these kalabas, mind produce kalabas, you should try to see. Among mind produce kalabas, there is wind element. Then wind element produce pain, wind element produce stretching. But in this case, my meaning is mind produce materiality. They have causal relationship between cause and effect. In the same way, in previous life you had accumulated whole dharma, there is the power of karma. In the present life, there is 30 rupas. That power can produce this 30 rupas. You can clearly see this. But if you do not understand ultimate materiality and mentality, if you discern dependent origination, you cannot understand. We call this is paramata. Paramata means ultimate reality. If you see ultimate reality, at that time you can understand the causal relationship between ultimate realities. But in conceptual stage, you cannot understand the causal relationship between cause and effect. At that time only you can understand the dependent origination. In other words, at that time you understand samudaya satya, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. But this is not enough. Not enough means, maybe today also there is one question. Not enough means we must also try to discern a little bit more past causes. That past causes also produce past effects of past five aggregates in the same way. In the same way, we must also try to understand cause and effect in future. Why? There are two reasons. Past, mind and matter are nature, it is true. Present are also nature, it is true. Future may be nature or nature, how you can say. So you must try to understand future also nature. If you contemplate them as a nature, dukkha and anatta, then attachment to this mind and matter will disappear slowly. Now you have attachment to the future life because you do not understand future mind and matter also nature, dukkha, anatta. If you understand Present mind in matter also nature dukkha anatta. Past mind in matter also nature dukkha anatta. Future mind in matter also nature dukkha anatta. Other than attachment to the past, attachment to the present, and then attachment to the future also will disappear. In the same way, if you can discern not only internally but also externally, mind and matter as nature and dukkha anatta, the attachment to the external world also will disappear. Do you want? Do you want to remove attachment to the external objects? Huh? If you want to remove or to destroy attachment to the external world, then you should not go back to the home. Is it true? You should not go back to your family. So, because of attachment, you are going back to your family. But if you contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta, again, then slowly attachment will be decreased day by day. Then one day when you begin arhat, at that time, attachment will disappear completely without remainder. So this is the way of teaching of our Buddha. So number one is right understanding of the noble truth of suffering, dukkha, sajja. Number two is the right understanding the noble truth of the origin of suffering. This is Huya sajja. But another cause is why you should try to discern future. I want to explain. While you are discerning dependent origination, past, present, and future, then you can see only cause and effect. But if there is cause, the effect will arise. But if there is no cause, then effect will not arise. When the cause will disappear, you should try to see this in future. One day, when your insight becomes mature, vipassana becomes mature, you may attain arhatship. When you attain arhatship, your arhat path will destroy completely without remainder the defilements, including attachment to future existence. If there is no attachment to the future existence, your karma, wholesome or unwholesome karmas, which you, before you are attaining arhatship, you had already accumulated. These karmas cannot produce any new existence, because if they depend on attachment for future existence or any existence, at that time only karma can produce new existence. But if there is no attachment to the new existence, karma cannot produce, it has powerless, cannot produce any more. Because of this reason, we can say, because of the complete cessation of 5 causes, ignorance, craving, clinging, and sankhara, volitional formations, and the power of karma. 5 aggregates after pranidhana, final cessation, will cease completely without remainder. That cessation is called also Nirodha Sajja, noble truth of the cessation of suffering. But this Nirodha Sajja is, you must try to understand by your insight knowledge only, not by part and fruition knowledge. Well, especially when you are practicing vipassana, when you reach Udaya Bhaya Jnana stage, rising and passing with Jnana stage, at that time you must try to understand this Nirodha Sajja. Because of the complete cessation of 5 causes, 5 aggregates is completely without remainder. You should try to understand this is your destination. If you see your destination at that only, one day I will escape from round-out rebirth, you can understand well. When maybe this future, if you will become rahat in this very life, then this life will be your future. But in one of future existence, if you will become Arhat, then that existence will be your future. At that time, because of the complete cessation of five causes, five aggregates will cease completely without remainder after the final cessation. This is Nirodha Sejja. You should also try to see this Nirodha Sejja. While you are practicing Vipassana, then again you must continue to practice Vipassana again and again. While practicing Vipassana, one day your insight will become mature. At that time you will attain noble ship. Maybe you may become Sotapanna, Sriwana, you may become Skadagami, Vansratana, you may become Nagami, Noratana, and you may become Arhat. When you become Arhat, or when you become Noble One, you realize Nibbana. At the end of your Vipassana insight, but fruition knowledge will rise stage by stage. These path and fruition knowledges realize Nibbana. That Nibbana is called supramundane Nibbana. That supramundane Nibbana is the object of your path and fruition knowledge, not the object of your Vipassana. That supramundane knowledge is called supramundane noble truth of the cessation of suffering. In other words, this is called Nibbana. This is supramundane noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Then number 4 is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So now I'm explaining about Samadhi only. Number 1 is right understanding of the noble truth of suffering. This is mind and matter. Number 2 is right understanding of the noble truth of the origin of suffering, Samudaya Satya. Number 3 is right understanding of the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, Nirodha Satya. While you are practicing Vipassana, sometimes you must also contemplate your insight knowledge as anicca, dukkha, anatta. The objects are anicca, dukkha, anatta, it is true. But subject, your insight knowledge, whether insight knowledge is permanent or impermanent. You should try to understand. Your insight knowledge also impermanent. Anicca, dukkha, and anatta. At that time, if you can discern your insight knowledge is associated with 5 noble paths. Number 1, Samadhi. Your insight knowledge understand mind and matter. This is right understanding, Samadhi. Then, at that time, you must apply to the nature or dukkha nature or anatta nature of this mind and matter, as well as the dependent origination pathas. That application of the mind to the nature or dukkha or anatta nature of these formations is called Samma Sankappa, right thinking, or right application of the mind to the object. These two are called the training of wisdom, Pinya Sikha. While you are practicing Vipassana, before you are practicing, what you should do, you must observe your virtue. This is Samavacha, right speech, Samakamanda, right action, Sama Ajiva, right livelihood. This is now every morning you are observing your virtue. So because of this reason, you already understood these 3. Another one is Sammasati, right mindfulness. What is right mindfulness? Now, I had explained, when you are practicing vipassana, mind and metta, these two are the object of vipassana. In the same way, dependent origination patterns, these are also the object of vipassana. They are called sankhara, formations, conditioned things. They are the object of vipassana. So, when you are practicing vipassana, you must contemplate these formations as nature, dukkha, and anatta again and again. Your mindfulness at that time always remember nature, or dukkha nature, or anatta nature of these formations. This is called right mindfulness, samasati. At that time you are trying to understand nature, or dukkha nature, or anatta nature of these formations. This is called right effort, samma vayama. At that time you have a lot of concentration. Your mind sometimes concentrated very well on the nature, or dukkha nature, or anatta nature of these formations. This is called samadhi, right concentration. Altogether there are 5. Your vipassana insight is associated with 5 noble paths. Before you are practicing vipassana, you already observed your virtue, your sila. This is called 3 trainings, the training of morality. Samasati, right mindfulness; samavayama, right effort; samasamadhi, right concentration. These 3 are called the training of concentration. Samadhi, right understanding; Sankappa, right application of the mind, or right thinking. These 2 are the training of wisdom. Altogether there are 3 trainings, or there are noble eightfold paths when you are practicing vipassana. These noble eightfold paths are mundane noble eightfold paths only, not supramundane. But there are another mundane noble eightfold paths. When you are practicing now samatha, there are also noble eightfold paths. Before you are practicing samatha, you already observed your sila. This is the training of morality. Samavacha, right speech; samakamanta, right action; samaajiva, right livelihood. Based on this virtue, you practice samatha. Now you are practicing anapana, for example. Now you see anapana paribhaga nimitta counterpart sign. Taking anapana paribhaga nimitta counterpart sign as object, you try hard to concentrate on that paribhaga nimitta. Then you attain full absorption stage. For example, you attain first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. At that time, if you penetrate your anapana paribhaga nimitta, that penetrative knowledge is called samadhi, right understanding. This is samatha samadhi, not vipassana samadhi. We call this is jhana samadhi. Then samasankappa, right thinking. This is right application of the mind to the anapana paribhaga nimitta object, counterpart sign. You apply again and again to your samatha meditation object. This application of the mind is called samasankappa, right thinking. Then your mindfulness always remember your anapana paribhaga nimitta. This is right mindfulness. You try hard to apply your mind on your anapana paribhaga nimitta. This is called right effort, samma vayama. Then you already concentrated on your nimitta. This is right concentration. So they are all together 5 noble paths. Before you are practicing samatha, you had already observed your sila. 3 training of morality. Altogether there are Noble Eightfold Paths. These are Samatha Noble Eightfold Paths. When you are practicing Vipassana, there are also Noble Eightfold Paths. They are mundane Noble Eightfold Paths. But one day, when you realize Nibbana at that day, your path knowledge also associated with Noble Eightfold Path. These Noble Eightfold Paths are supramundane Noble Eightfold Paths. Number one, right Samadhi, right understanding. At that time, Samadhi realized Nibbana. Only one object. Sama Sankappa, right application of the mind to the Nibbana object. Samasati, right mindfulness of the Nibbana object. Samavayama, right effort to understand the Nibbana object. Samasamadhi, right concentration on the Nibbana object. When you are realizing Nibbana, your path knowledge will destroy the defilements which will commit to destroy your virtue. So because of this reason, purification of virtue is already present at that time. That purification is Samavacha, right speech, Samakamanda, right action, Sama-ajiva, right livelihood. Altogether there are 8 noble paths. These Noble Eightfold Paths are called supramundane Noble Eightfold Paths. If you reflect after realizing Nibbana, and then when you emerge, if you reflect, you can understand these Noble Eightfold Paths. So altogether, there are how many noble paths and noble truths? 4 types of noble truths. Number 1, noble truth of suffering. Number 2, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Number 3, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Number 4, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Now you had, if you attain Nibbana, for example, if you realize Nibbana, you had already understood 4 noble truths. If you understand 4 noble truths, what is benefit? I want to relate. At the beginning of my Dhamma talk, I had already explained to you about Aswakhiya Sutta. Jana doha bhikkhu passato aswana khiyam vadami no ajanato no abhasato. Kincha bhikkhu jana do passato aswana khyo hodi. Ida dukkhanti bhikkhu jana do passato aswana khyo hodi. Ayan dukkha samudayoti bhikkhu jana do passato aswana khyo hodi. Ayan dukkha nirodhoti bhikkhu jana do passato aswana khyo hodi. Ayan dukkha nirodha gamini paripadati jana do passato aswana khyo hodi. What is the meaning? Because I say that it is for one who knows and sees. It is not for one who does not know and who does not see. It is for one who knows what. Because I say that the destruction of the tense is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and who does not see. For one who knows what, for one who sees what, does the destruction of the tense comes about. The destruction of the tense comes about for one who knows and sees. This is the noble truth of suffering. It is for one who knows and sees. This is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. It is for one who knows and sees. This is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. It is for one who knows and sees. This is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So if you want to become Arhat, or to destroy defilements completely without remainder, You must try to understand Four Noble Truths. Without understanding Four Noble Truths, you cannot become Arhat. You cannot become Sotapanna, you cannot become Sakadagami, you cannot become Anagami, you cannot become Arhat. So, Buddha says that, therefore, bhikkhus exertion should be made to understand. This is the noble truth of suffering. Exertion should be made to understand. This is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Exertion should be made to understand. This is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. Exertion should be made to understand. This is noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. In this way, Buddha taught. So, one day, if you become Arhat, after the final cessation, Parinibbana, there will be no more future existence, renewed existence. This is the cessation of round-up rebirth. We call this is final cessation. If you want to attain final cessation, you must try to understand Four Noble Truths. But this night there are some questions relating to this problem. So we will discuss about question answer.
There's a note to read here. Due to the large number of questions and their complexity, it has been necessary to edit, combine, or condense them in some cases. First question, please describe and define full absorption.
Jhana concentration, they translate as full absorption. What is jhana? Jayati. Jayati means they are burning defilements. For example, now you are practicing anapana. When you are concentrated on your anapana pribhaga nimitta counterpart side. When your concentration becomes deeper and deeper, your mind will go into nimitta. And stay there peacefully without moving, without wandering. Peacefully will stay there. Such type of state is called jhana concentration. Why? That jhana concentration can burn defilements. At that time, no defilements. But when you come out from jhana, the defilements will welcome to you. But while you are staying in full absorption stage, there is no defilements, especially no hindrances. So, jhana concentration can suppress defilements temporarily only. But vipassana also can suppress the defilements temporarily only. But in approaching knowledge, but knowledge can destroy defilements completely without remainder stage by stage. At that time only, you will escape from the round-up rebirths only. In the same way, when you are practicing kasinas, in kasina object, your mind completely sink into kasina object. That sinking mind is called jhana concentration only. In the same way, when you are practicing immediate jhanas also, there are different objects. If your mind sink into those objects, that sinking mind is called full absorption only.
Next question. In terms of the two groupings of the jhanas, what do the terms fine material and immaterial refer to? What do these terms mean?
Fine material jhana means there are four. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. They can produce to be reborn in fine material world. So they are called fine material jhana only. There are also four immaterial jhanas. They can produce to be reborn in four immaterial planes. So they are all called immaterial jhanas only. But jhana is jhana only. But for example, first jhana can produce to be reborn in first jhana plane only. In the same way, there are four immaterial jhanas. Number one can produce in number one four immaterial plane. Number two can produce to be reborn in number two four immaterial plane, etc. So they are, because in immaterial world there is no rupa, no matter. Because of this reason, this is called immaterial jhana. In fine material world, there are rupa, nama and rupa, mind and matter. But their matter is very subtle, very gentle. How it's subtle? When they came down to listen to in front of Buddha, some Brahmas, they stand in front of Buddha. Their body go down into the ground. Because their body is very gentle, very soft. So they are called fine material jhana. But at that time, some Buddha suggests them to create gross body. At that time only they can stand on the ground or on the floor. So very fine.
What kinds of effects will this practice we have been doing for the past 2 months produce in the future?
What do you want to become in future, woman or man? You can whisper. But our destination is for realization of Nibbana only. Now we teach samatha. There are 5 results. Number 1 is based on samatha jhana. If you practice vipassana, you can clearly understand ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality, and their causes, and nature, dukkha, and another nature of these formations. For clear understanding of vipassana only. This is one. Another is some arahats. Occasionally they want to enjoy jhana happiness. So they enter into jhana. This is Daitta Dhamma Sukha Vihara. Daitta Dhamma Sukha Vihara means for happiness in this very life only. Because arahats, jhana can produce no more. Because they already finished. Another is abhiññāni sansa. Some meditators, they want to attain psych powers. If they want to attain psych powers, they must practice jhana, concentration. Especially 10 types of kasinas and 8 types of jhana, 8 attainments. They must specialize in 40 ways. At that time only they can attain psych powers. Another is Nirodha Nisansa. Nirodha Nisansa means some anagami, Noradana, noble ones, and arhats. Sometimes they want to attain cessation attainment, Nirodha Samapatti. Cessation attainment means they have many times or they have long time to take pranibbana, final cessation. Before final cessation, Usually they are always see nature, dukkha, and anatta nature of these formations, whether internal or external. Day by day, every day they see every moment, every day. Because of this, they became bored. They don't want to see this nature, dukkha, anatta nature. At that time, they want to attain cessation attainment. If they want to attain cessation attainment, means that cessation attainment is similar to temporary death. They do not see any formations at that time. If they want to attain this cessation attainment, they must practice the 10 kasinas, 8 attainments. Based on these 10 kasinas in 8 attainments, and then they must practice vipassana systematically, they can attain cessation attainment. Another is some meditators, they want to be reborn as a Brahma. They don't want to be reborn as a human being or as a Deva. Why? There are many quarrels, many fightings to each other within family also. Is it true? Wife and husband, they quarrel many times. So is it good or not? They don't want to be wife or they don't want to be husband. So they want to be reborn in Brahma world. So if they want to be reborn in Brahma world, they must practice jhana. But we teach samatha here as a foundation for vipassana only. Okay? If you can maintain this jhana, and then if you can practice vipassana systematically one day, you may realize Four Noble Truths and you may attain Nibbana. This is the rasa only. But if you cannot concentrate well, your mind is always going back to your home. How we can do?
Next question. How can we preserve and develop what has been acquired through much effort during this retreat?
You must practice daily in your home also. You should try to maintain your concentration or your jhana concentration. But this jhana is not permanent nature. One day, if you meet with many pleasurable objects or unpleasurable objects, then this jhana can easily fall down. So if you can maintain, there are many results, many good results. But if you cannot maintain, we cannot say there are many results. For example, Venerable Devadatta. He practiced samatha for 3 months. Within 3 rains retreat, 3 months rains retreat, he attained 8 attainments as well as 5 mundane psychic powers. But he cannot maintain his concentration. Because of this reason, this jhana also fall down. His psychic power also fall down. Nothing. So he was reborn in hell. So if you go back to your home, if you want jhana fall down, then same.
The next question. Is the nimitta always perceived as a visual object, or can it manifest as a sound or physical sensation?
Not as a sound, not physical sensation. Maybe you can say visual object, or visual object, my meaning is for beginners when they see nimitta. With closed eyes they must try to see nimitta, it is better. When their nimitta becomes stable, they can practice with open eye. They can see nimitta, but to attain jhana concentration stage, full absorption stage is with open eye is for beginners not easy. But not sound, because sound is the tone of the jhana. So not imagination or not sensation, but there's no sensation. Sensation means bodily sensation or physical sensation. By sensation, you should not try to see nimitta. It is not easy. While you are focusing on your nimitta, mentally only, this is mental object only. No, the object of kaya vijnana, bodily sensation.
The next question has several parts. Would Sayadaw please speak about his life as a young monk? Were there skilled teachers? What were your living quarters like? How far did you have to walk for alms food? Was meditation easy for you in the beginning?
Oh, I can say, this is not necessary. Maybe there are teachers. My first teacher is Mahasi Sayadaw and Sayadaw Upandita. This is first teacher. Second teacher is, this is meditation teacher only. The second teacher is Kandewan Sayadaw. Third teacher is Tanlin Sayadaw. Fourth teacher is Kani Sayadaw. So different teachers. But different teachers has different opinions. But last my teacher is especially Visuddhimagga.
The next question, please describe the 10 kinds of merit we can practice as paramis.
Maybe you should read this Viduma book, especially if you do not understand. Maybe partially you may understand Bhikkhu Bodhi's Virimata Sangha in Process Free chapter. I want to explain in brief way only. There are 10 types of Punya Kriya. Punya Kriya Vutu. Number 1 is Dana, donation. This is also, if you donate, then you are accumulating wholesome tamas. So this is also called Punya. Donation. Number 2 is Sila. You should try to purify your virtue. This is also wholesome tama. You are accumulating wholesome tama. Then there are bhavana. There are 2 types of bhavana meditation, samatha and vipassana. When you are practicing samatha, you are accumulating wholesome tamas. Samatha, wholesome tamas. When you are practicing vipassana, you are practicing vipassana, wholesome tamas. So they are also kusala. Wholesome, you are accumulating wholesome tamas. Another one is Abhachayana. Abhachayana is you should pay respect to each other. It is very good manner. When you are seeing to each other, you must pay respect. That respectful mind is also called wholesome tama. If you see one person, you do not care, don't care. You had a lot of anger. This is not good. If you see someone, especially elders, you must pay respect. You should try to see with smiling face, with metta. So, and then you are accumulating wholesome tama, paying respect to the elders or paying respect to the bhikkhus, nuns, etc. Vyavicha. Another is Vyavicha. Vyavicha, Judy. Is it Judy? Service. Judy or service. There are different duties to your teacher, to your mother, to your father, to your elders, to your sisters, etc. So these duties or services are also called wholesome tamas. When you are doing these duties or services, you are accumulating different types of wholesome tamas. Then Patijana. Now you are accumulating wholesome tamas. After accumulating wholesome tamas, you should also share to others. May all beings also get this type of merit. This is not very difficult. At that time, also, when you are sharing merit, then you can accumulate wholesome dhammas also. This is also wholesome dhamma. Pada numodana, another one. Pada numodana is rejoicing, others sharing merit. While Visakha operate Bobharama monastery to the Buddha and Sangha. At that time, there is one lady who is Visakha's friend, but she cannot offer such type of monastery, but she had a lot rejoiced. Because of this wholesome karma, she was reborn in Tawa Tensa Dewa as a deity, as a deva. So these are also called wholesome dhamma. So if you see others' merit, you should also accumulate happiness. This is also wholesome dhamma. Then another one is dhamma savana, now listening the dhamma. Listening dhamma also, we can say you are accumulating wholesome dhammas. Then another one is dhamma desana, teaching the dhamma or dhamma talk. You are trying dhamma talk. When you are trying dhamma talk, you are accumulating many wholesome dhammas. Another one is deity juk karma. This is very important. Deity juk karma means the wholesome karma depending on right understanding. What is the meaning? Especially you must try to understand the activity of the law of karma. If you understand the activity of the law of karma, we can say you are accumulating wholesome dhammas. But this is not easy. Not easy means sometimes you may have a lot of confidence by hearsay only. Your teacher teach, or your brothers or your friends teach. There is karma. That karma wholesome karmas can produce wholesome results, good results. Unwholesome karma can produce bad results, etc. You had confidence, but such type of confidence is just by hearsay only. But in this case, deity juk karma means especially you must try to understand, number one, the noble truth of the suffering, dukkha, sajja, mind and matter. Number two, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya, sajja. This is again you must try to understand the cause relationship between samudaya, sajja and dukkha, sajja. This is the right understanding of the activity of the law of karma only. Such type of right understanding is very deep and profound. This is good. Such type of understanding is called deity juk karma only. So altogether there are 10 types of punyas. Okay.
The next question. The Buddhist path asks us to give up the known, our everyday life, and aim for the unknown, nibbana. This can bring up fear and doubt, which can slow or stop our progress. Nibbana sounds like total extinction. Who or what experiences nibbana?
If you do not understand mind and matter, you may ask such questions. Our body is composed with mind and matter. This mind and matter is always rising and passing away. So they are nature impermanent. There is no time to tell this is who. This is man or woman. There is no time to tell. As soon as they rise, they pass away very, very quickly. There is no I, there is no he, there is no she. Then, if there is no I, there is no he, there is no she, how you can say who? Is it meaningless? Okay? But I want to explain you. There's candlelight. But the wick also already exhausted. One also already exhausted. Then fire ceases completely without remainder. At that time, how you can say fire goes to where? How do you say?
Extinction.
Extinction only. Cessation only. Fire ceases completely without remainder only. In the same way, if there are mind and matter, mentality and materiality, there will be arising and passing away successively because of depending on samudaya sija, their cause. If there is cause, the mind and matter will arise and pass away very, very quickly in the same way. But if, because of the complete cessation of cause, mind and matter or five aggregates will cease completely without remainder. If there is no complete cessation of mind and matter, then there will be future existence. If there is future existence, there will be jadi birth. If there will be birth, there will be sickness. There will be decay. There will be death. Again, there will be future existence. There will be birth. There will be sickness. There will be illness. There will be decay. There will be death. So round of rebirth will be continued. But Buddha don't want to continue round of rebirth. So he tried to search for the complete cessation of birth and death. If there is birth and death, is it good or not?
Not good.
Yes. So complete cessation of birth and death. He tried to search for the path leading to the complete cessation of birth and death only. If there is no I, then how do you can say who ceases completely without remainder? Because there is no who, there is no I, there is no she, only mind and matter, mentality and materiality. Because of the causes, mind and matter rise. Because of the complete cessation, because of the rising of causes, mind and matter rise. Because of the complete cessation of causes, mind and matter cease completely without remainder. Buddha searched for the complete cessation of the causes as well as the complete cessation of mind and matter. If there is complete cessation of mind and matter, there will be no birth. If there will be no birth, then there will be no sickness, no illness, and there will be no death. Is it good or bad? Yes, it is only.
Please teach us how to develop each of the 5 spiritual faculties.
Maybe now you are practicing to develop each of the 5 spiritual faculties only. For example, when you are concentrating on your anapana object, if you can concentrate, then we can say you are trying to develop each of the 5 spiritual faculties. But if there are many wandering minds, you always miss to your family to go back to California or to go back to Miami. Then how we can say you are trying to develop the spiritual faculties. But when you are practicing anapana, for example, one day if you see nimitta, at the time 5 controlling faculties are very important. There must be competence, number 1, sattva. So the confidence means in this case, while you are practicing Anapana Samatha meditation. If I practice according to Buddha's teaching, Anapana meditation, I get attain jhana. Such type of confidence is necessary. Oh, it is impossible. No, it is impossible to concentrate on Anapana to attain jhana. It is impossible. If you have such doubts, then your confidence is very weak. So you should have enough confidence. Oh, this is true. This way of teaching, this way of Buddha's teaching is true to attain jhana. So such type of confidence is necessary. While you are practicing kasina in the same way, if I can concentrate my kasina object, I can attain jhana, such type of confidence is necessary. If you have a lot of doubts, this is problem. You cannot attain any good achievements. Number 2 is Wariya effort. You must try hard. But for many meditators, here back pain, very painful. They relax. They do. So, if effort is very weak, concentration cannot develop. So effort must be strong. Oh, may I die? No problem. Such type of effort is necessary. Warrior effort. But in this case, effort means to maintain your concentration on your meditation object only. Your mindfulness sati, always remember your, for example, Anapana Paripaga Nimitta counterpart sign. Your mindfulness always remember your Anapana Paripaga Nimitta. That mindfulness sati must be supported by your energy or effort warrior. Not to go away from your meditation object. Such type of supporting cause is called energy, warrior, effort. If effort is less, mindfulness will go away from your meditation object. So such type of effort is necessary. In the same way, yes, another one, concentration, samadhi. Samadhi is right concentration on your Anapana Paripaga Nimitta object. That concentration and effort must be balanced. When at that time effort is very strong, trying hard too much, the restless mind will appear. Concentration, samadhi cannot concentrate well on your Anapana Paripaga Nimitta object. But when your concentration is very weak, at that time also your concentration cannot develop further. When your concentration weak, laziness will appear. Effort also weak, laziness will appear. When concentration weak, sometimes occasionally your mind will fall down into bhavanga. At that time you will know your meditation object like Anapana Paripaga Nimitta, because you are fall down into bhavanga. So concentration and effort must be balanced. For some meditators, when effort is very weak, concentration is very deep, at that time slowly the laziness will appear. They become bored. Because concentration is deep, very, very strong, but effort is very weak. So this concentration and effort also must be balanced. In the same way, while you are practicing samatha, penetrative knowledge to your Anapana Paripaga Nimitta object, this is also necessary. This is called jhana samadhi. Why it is called penetrative knowledge? Before you are practicing Anapana, you had never experienced Anapana Nimitta or Patibhaga Nimitta. But when you are practicing Anapana systematically, and when your concentration also developing day by day, at that time only you can see Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta counterpart side. Because of this reason, we can say you penetrate Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta. This is penetrative knowledge. That penetrative knowledge and confidence saddha must be balanced. It is not easy for me. I'm very weak. It is not easy for me to attain jhana. So you relax. Confidence is very weak. When confidence is very weak, maybe Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta also may disappear because you have no enough confidence. Sometimes you have a lot of confidence. Confidence is very strong. At that time also, you cannot concentrate well on your Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta object. Why? When confidence is very strong, at that time emotion usually rise. Because of emotion, mind slowly begin restless. You cannot concentrate well, and then you cannot penetrate your Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta well. So because of this reason, at that time, when you see Anapana Patibhaga Nimitta counterpart side, at that time, you should try to make balance by controlling faculties. For beginners, it is also necessary, it is true. But for beginners, if they are investigating to make balance by controlling faculties, then it is not easy, concentration cannot develop. So for beginners, don't worry about this, just concentrate only on the breath object. So it is better. Okay.
The next question, why is being a monk the best way to live one's life?
Oh, you are now householders, you have a lot of children, a lot of wives. Is it good or not? You should decide.
Why are adepts, such as the Buddha's first teachers, who had mastered the jhanas, unable to realize Nibbana?
So in this case, paradoxa, it is necessary, most important thing. Paradoxa means hearing the Dhamma talk relating to the Four Noble Truths. Now you are practicing samatha and vipassana. But if you do not hear, do not hear, if you do not hear, there are kalabas, there are ultimate materialities. You will not try to realize kalabas and to penetrate ultimate materiality, because you never heard. In the same way, if you never heard about Four Noble Truths, you will not try to understand Four Noble Truths. If you never heard about the Noble Truth of the origin of suffering, you will not try to understand the activity of the law of karma only. You may practice heart vipassana, but if you do not understand the origin of the Noble Truth of suffering, this is samudaya satya, or the activity of the law of karma, you will not try to understand this. So if it is so, how you can attain Nibbana? So, in the same way, the masters, first teachers, Alara and Uddaka, they had no chance to listen the Dhamma talk relating Four Noble Truths. So because of this reason, they cannot attain Nibbana. They cannot realize Nibbana.
Next question. Please describe the 10 kinds of merit we can practice as paramis.
This is saying number 7. Same. Number 7 and 6.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Yes, 7.
Okay. Why is it important who the receiver of our meritorious actions is, since we do not necessarily know the virtue or level of attainment of that person.
How do you know there are no receivers? So I want to explain with one example. Uttara. Uttara Velu Gandagi, who stays in Velu Gandagi township. One night, she was Anagami Noradana. One night she is entering into her attainments, especially Anagami Purusha attainment. When she come out from her attainment, there is enough time. She don't want to use her time valuable, useless. So she want to be valuable time. So because of this reason, she recites one sutta called Parayana Vagga, 250 stanzas. She is reciting with sweet song. This is the beyond the middle at night. So at that time there is no listener. But she respectfully recites this sutta. At that time, Vasavana, one of the king of Devas, he is crossing in the sky above her house. So he heard this reciting song. So he stopped and he listened this Dhamma. After finish, he rejoiced, Sadhu. So, in the same way, nowadays, if you practice samatha and vipassana, after practicing, if you share merit, there may be some devas who may hear. There are no devas, we cannot say exactly. There may be, but although there are receivers or not, no problem. Sharing is our duty. If we share, then we are accumulating, sharing wholesome dhammas only. Okay.
In the past, were humans born with the knowledge of their past karma?
How we can say, there are many human beings, how we can say in the past many human beings born with the knowledge of their past karma, how we can say. There are different types of beings. There may be some persons who had a lot of parami, especially in the name of Buddha. They have a lot of parami, it is true, because they meet with Buddha and they listen the Dhamma from the Buddha directly, and they became Sotapannas, Sakadagamis and Anagamis. So because of this reason, they have a lot of karma. Their karma is associated with knowledge, sharp wisdom. But nowadays also there may be some persons who have a lot karma. Their karma is associated with sharp wisdom, but they do not meditate. If they do not meditate, then their sharp wisdom will become useless only. Okay. Any question?
When you were saying before about punya, merit, and there was a kind of merit where you are doing your duty of service, that is like the Sigalovada Sutta?
Yes, same. Maybe some meditators, some teachers, they suggest me to discuss last day. Maybe 28 night time will be good or not. You can discuss openly about your meditation practice. Is it good or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can try 28 nights. Because 29 some may leave. So 28 night time you can discuss openly about your own meditation practice. Today maybe my last Dhamma talk. If there are any questions now, you can ask me.
Bhante, I have a question. For people who are very accomplished and who examine their own past lives, are there people who in past lives had direct experience with the Buddha himself? And do they talk about that?
I cannot read others' mind, but according to their own report, maybe few meditators, they had experience with Buddha in their previous lives. Whether it is true or not, I don't know easily, because I cannot read their mind.
Receiver of karma, and this is because there's a story where somebody does something to somebody, but they don't know that is an arhat, and because they do this, they get this very good or very bad result. But they have no way of knowing. You cannot know this arhat, that is arhat. And the story was one of Pa-Auk Buddha, so maybe he's not even looking like a bhikkhu. And the man says, "Oh, you terrible leper," and he spits on him. And then so many in the future, he's a leper, and he has so many problems. But when he did this, if that had just been a poor leper, maybe nothing would have happened. I'm trying to understand why it is so important, what the qualities of the person are that you are doing something to. Because there's no intention, "Oh, I will insult Pa-Auk Buddha." There's just the intention, I am insulting somebody. I don't know.
Maybe this is Soba Buddha only. He had the intention, intentionally he insults the Vichika Buddha only.
But he knows that is Pa-Auk Buddha.
Maybe whether he knows or not, this is no problem. Intentionally he insults. Because on the way he meets with Vichika Buddha. At that time he was the prince, or maybe he was the son of very rich man. So he is going to his park with chariot. On the way, many people pay respect to the Vichika Buddha, but they do not pay respect to him. But he had a lot of jealousy. Because of this, he insulted to the Vichika Buddha as a leprosy. So because of this karma, he became leper. But there are two truths. Ultimate truth and conventional truth. You should try to understand, to distinguish ultimate truth and conventional truth. According to conventional truth, we can say he received. But according to ultimate truth, there's no he, there's no she. So only mentality and materiality. So, but the process of mentality and materiality receive this wholesome dhamma or unwholesome dhamma only. According to conventional truth, he had to be committed such and such type of unwholesome dhammas. Then he received this result, we can say only. So you should try to understand the difference between conventional truth and ultimate truth.
And was he a leper?
Yes.
Pa-Auk Buddha?
No. Vichika Buddha. No. Vichika Buddha at the time, he was very old. This is one reason. Another reason is his robes are very worn out, very nearly decay. So because of this reason, he had a lot unpleasantness to his mind. This is also one. More important thing is jealousy only.
Well, also when you said the deva passed by and he is happy that she is reciting.
Yes, happy.
The result for him?
Oh, result is maybe how we can say no, he is not still dying. He is still alive. How we can say what is result? But he also accumulated wholesome dhamma. Why? While he is listening the dhamma, he had a lot of pity. This is wholesome dhamma only. So he is accumulating wholesome dhamma. This wholesome dhamma will produce good result in future. In which future we cannot say easily.
Sayadaw, you mentioned that one of the things we could potentially do with our meditation is go forward to see our future lives. What if we don't like what we see? Is that going to change?
There are two types. Two types. We call, according to our Buddha's teaching, there are two types of Pichima Bhuiga. Pichima Bhuiga means the person who have last life. Artificial and truth, real. Artificial and real. For example, Venerable Mahamoggallana. They are real Pichima Bhuiga. No one can commit them and no one can kill them as long as they are not yet become Arhat. Like Venerable Mahamoggallana. In the same way there are maybe some Mahathiras. As long as they are not yet become Arhat, they will never, they cannot be killed by any other people. So they are real Pichika Buddhas. But some are artificial. Artificial means maybe Pichika or maybe Arhat or maybe not become Arhat. Why? If they try hard to accumulate their parami to attain Arhatship successfully for a long time, they may become Arhat. But if they do not accumulate wholesome dhammas thoroughly, although they may have parami, they cannot become Arhat. For example, in time of Buddha, there are one couple. And this story is mentioned in Dhammapara. You can read this story. This couple, husband has a lot of parami to attain Arhatship. Wife has also a lot of parami to become Anagami no Ratana. But when they meet with Buddha, they are very old. Maybe nearly 100 or more than 100 maybe. At that time they are very old. So at that time Buddha saw them, but they cannot receive his Dhamma talk. If he tried Dhamma talk, at that time they cannot receive his own Dhamma talk because they are very old. Their memory is very not good. But they have enough parami. Why? The reason is there are two types of wholesome dhammas. One is charana. They translate charana as contact, but I don't know exactly whether this translation is true or not. I don't know. Another is vijja. Vijja is wisdom. So their wisdom is good, very enough, but their contact charana is very weak. Because of this reason, charana is like food. If you have enough food, you can walk according to your own desire up to the destination. But if you have no food, you cannot walk. In the same way, charana is especially dana, sila, samatha, vipassana, which can produce to be reborn as a human being, deva, etc. They are like your food. But that charana is very weak. That charana must be for attaining nibbana only, not for any other enjoyment. For attaining nibbana, they accumulate this charana. That charana is not enough. Because of this reason, their charana cannot sense to meet with Buddha in time, right time, in a right time. So, when they became very, very old, maybe nearly 100 or more than 100 years later, at that time they meet with Buddha. So because of this reason, they cannot receive Buddha's teaching. Buddha also do not try Dhamma talk. So such type of persons are not real Pishimabhuga. But there are some persons like Angulimala, for example. He get a lot of other people, but he had a lot of Bharami to attain Arhatship. Also he became Arhat. In the same way, there is Sankecha Samrira. In her mother's womb, before he was born, his mother passed away, died. And then they burned the corpse in the cemetery. But he never died in his mother's womb, although they are burning, because he is real Pishimabhuga last person. So in the next morning, he was sitting in her mother's on the fire. So he never died. So he became Arhat. So they are real ones. So there are two types. So because of this reason, when a meditator search for future existence, some meditators, they see and successfully coming future life, their life will be finished. This is the last rebirth. But some meditators, sometimes they see another future also. So sometimes not same. Not same means if they practice diligently in future existence, they may be that future existence will be last life. But if they forget, they do not meditate well, maybe they must reborn another future also. So sometimes they see different futures. Do you want? Yeah. Different future.
Oh, I don't know yet.
This is problem. I will try in this way. It is necessary.
Tonight, there's a lot of sadness in me. The path is so beautiful, but so difficult and intricate. In my experience, I've learned to trust my experience. And that's some understanding of what the Buddha taught. In my experience, I had an experience of a past life or a future life, at least that I know of. I don't believe or disbelieve. I don't know. But I have never had such an experience that I know of.
Maybe.
How did that my life, my practice?
If you hear it, and then you should try whether it is true or not. So systematically, because Buddha explained, Samadhi bhikkhu bhavita samahito bhikkhu bhikkhu yatha buddha bhajanati. Bhikkhus develop concentration. A bhikkhu who is concentrated mind understands the Dhammas as they really are. So because of this reason, if you have enough concentration, you will understand the Dhammas as they really are. So first please try concentration. Other than if you practice systematically, then one day, if you have enough parami, then you can see dukkha sajja and samudaya sajja. Past causes produce present effect, present causes will produce future effect, etc. So please try concentration. Okay, sharing merit. Idame Bonya Asawakya Waha Hodu Idame Bonya Nibbana Sat Pachayo Hodu Idame Bonya Sabha Sadhana Vajema Desabe Mesama Punya Bhaga Labandu, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.